headquarters of the Obidati Campaign Organization, the flag bearers of Labour Party. This statement represents the position of our organization as of today. You know, since the election of last Saturday, things have been there have been all kinds of developments. We are all in this country. So on Saturday, the 25th of February, 2023, Nigeria witnessed an election on which it has placed so much hope. Now, from all across the country, millions of Nigerians eager for a new order trooped out to the polling booths, hopeful in the promise of INEC and the federal government that a responsible and credible process will be ensured through a level playing field. After careful consideration of field reports from locations around the country, we have on record hard video, documentary, and first-hand evidences of criminal conspiracies, tricks, and irregularities by some INEC and security officials on the one side, and also vicious attacks by political thugs, as well as clear evidence of inducement by politicians, one of whom was caught with $500,000 in cash. In the light of the above, we at the Obidati Presidential Campaign Council are of the firm conviction that the processes and the practices as carried on by INEC and as permitted by some security agencies do not, in the most responsible minimum, meet the required standards of credibility and were not fundamentally free and fair. We further present that a compromised election cannot produce genuine results, nor can they be lawful or in accordance with the Constitution and the Electoral Act 2022. The amended Electoral Act says that election results are to be uploaded to the central server from the polling units. What is going on is practically manual collation that makes no sense at all. According to Section 60 of the Electoral Act, the presiding officer in an election is mandated to announce the results at the polling unit in the presence of the party agents and have same uploaded at the polling unit in the presence of the parties participating in the election or their agents. The widespread actions of INEC in moving the results away from the polling units across the strongholds and thereafter announcing the results in the absence of our party agents falls short of the above provision. On the basis of these anomalies, the Obidati Presidential Campaign Organization hereby states that the conduct of the elections of the 25th February 2023, including the ongoing charade of declaration of results, that is, results in parentheses, in the states and in Abuja are unacceptable. And we hereby demand unequivocally for the suspension of all processes until these recorded cases of compromise, illegality, and criminality are justifiably resolved, especially in the states of Edo, Imo, Rivers, and various parts of the north. We see the trickery of not upholding the presidential election results from the polling centers and the alienation, alteration, and replacement of Form EC8A as an egregious act of brazen fraud which must not stand. We call upon our supporters, support groups, voters, and indeed all Nigerians to stay calm and vigilant while we wait for INEC to urgently do what is right. We urge the international community, election observers, and all true friends of Nigeria to critically review the conduct of these elections and stand firm on the side of fairness and justice. We are totally confident that in this matter, on which the future of our country rests, the people will overcome, no matter how long it may take. Once again, that's our statement from the Obidati Campaign Organization. And by the way, let me introduce to you some of the principal functionaries of our organization that are here. To my right is Tanko Yunusa, Dr. Tanko Yunusa, who is the chief spokesperson of the organization. And to my left is architect Mike Nwafo, who is the director of administration. Of course, you also have in the house members of the media team, Namdi Okoseme, Ken Asogwa, and of course, Ike Onua. You have Alvin Ilenre, and quite a, and okay, Madu Honora at the back. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a few questions. Any question?
Okay, let me ask this. Kingsley Daily Independent newspapers. There are widespread allegations of irregularities across the country, and many persons are asking, how does Labour Party intend to follow this up? Bearing in mind, of course, that bearing in mind the recent happenings from the Supreme Court, where the Labour Party would be going with a litigation if it chooses to pursue that course. Number one, the Supreme Court versus, in this case, it's Ababio. Ababio was said not to have participated in the primaries, senatorial primaries for the APC, and he eventually was declared the senatorial candidate for his constituency. Same with the Senate president. Considering these realities flowing from the Supreme Court, does Labour Party in any way think that if she pursues that litigation to that court, that she will get justice?
You know, this is our country. And as far as this country goes, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land, is the temple of justice. In spite of all these other things, what people consider anomalies on the part of the courts, maybe at every level, we still do not have another country. And for as long as we don't have any other country, we have no choice but to have absolute confidence on the Supreme Court of our country. Where else do we run? So as far as that is concerned, we cannot say because of case A, case B, and that, and then we will not approach the court. That's what the law says. When you're aggrieved, you approach the judicial system, whether at the tribunal level, at appellate level, or even at the level of the Supreme Court. That's the choice, the only option we are left with. And we have confidence that even the Supreme Court, or all courts of the land, eventually will serve the interests of the people of this country.
Okay, can I say something there, please? We're not scared of going to the Supreme Court for whatever reason. However, before we get to the place of going to the Supreme Court, we are asking the INEC to realize the importance of this election. We are asking INEC, in the midst of the circus that we're seeing on the television, which is likened to election results, collation, and announcement, to please have a rethink. The youths of this land have spoken. No election in this country has witnessed this number of voters at any time. Today, Nigerians poured out, or around the 25th, Nigerians poured out on the streets to vote and make their statement. And we think they made that statement. And I want to say, without any fear of contradiction, that statement was profoundly made in favor of Labour Party. What we're asking the INEC to do is please release the results as the people spoke. Give Labour Party their verdict.
What time?
I don't want to go around what might likely be the consequence of doing anything otherwise. If you note that the people that power the Labour Party are essentially youths, and if you note the fact that these are the youths that most of whom have left this country, in search of better opportunities, and those who are here are simply saying we are holding on because of Mr. Peter Obi. And if in the process of Peter Obi going through this election, a statement was made, I don't want to think of what the consequences will be like. And I pray we don't get to that. But we are saying, please, INEC, please give us our verdict. Please give us our verdict. Deliver the verdict as spoken by the people, because we believe the people spoke. We have received results from the different polling centers, from the different wards, and the margin is outstanding. And these results were collected by people who are not necessarily mad. I mean, decent people who could read figures and who could collect figures and who could analyze figures, and they send them down to us. So we're saying, please, INEC, do the needful. Give us our results. We submit that Labour Party is not where she's being placed today. The result that is being accorded to us is exactly not what we got. So please give us our results. Thank you.
All right. So, any other question?
Okay, like you mentioned earlier, we know that Labour Party is being powered by the youth of Nigeria, and as it stands now, many of them are already expressing disappointments with the results coming in. So, for the organization, for the campaign council now, what is your message for the obedience, the young people out there? Because many are also already making suggestions of taking to the streets to express their disappointments.
Well,
at this point in time, what is the campaign council saying to the obedience out there?
Well, we have already alluded to that in the statements. We want Nigerians to be calm, and let's intelligently get this process to a desired end. But you see, one thing we need to understand and be clear about is that this is a national election. We as a party are only participants. We are only a party in the election. The citizens are also stakeholders in the election. Our roles are different. Our role as a political party, we have organized, we have canvassed, we have participated in the election. Our own role doesn't go beyond that. In every democracy, the office of the citizen is the highest office. We cannot, as a political party, control what citizens may want to do. And therefore, nobody should hold us responsible for whatever action citizens take for whatever reason. So we should not make it the responsibility of Labour Party to hold people to do this or not to do that. We have played our own part in this election. We have organized, we have canvassed, we have mobilized, we have participated in the election. That's as far as it goes. We cannot control citizens and say, do this or don't do that. They don't work for us. We are applying to work for them. Why I'm saying this is there have been indications, we've been hearing statements where people are saying, should anything happen, they are going to hold you responsible for what? Citizens, they are in their homes. We fixed a date for election. They turned out, they cast their vote. Whatever feelings they are now having after the fact, that's between the citizens and the state. It is not the responsibility of us as a political party. No. Okay. That's any other thing?
Well, let me just add that going forward, because of the breaches observed thus far, let me just say that because of breaches observed thus far, that what we think INEC should begin to do is, first of all, apologize to Nigerians, because by now, the presidential election, by virtue of the input of technology in the conduct of this election, as promised by INEC and as supported by electoral law, by now, we probably should be having all the results of this election ready. That we don't have. We're still wondering what has happened to the beavers technology that was so trumpeted, that we were assured will help us have the result as soon as this election is conducted. We are still lost, if you like, in the middle of the sea on why uploading of results are still being done manually. I mean, this is like taking us to pre-1999 election. And that's not what we asked for. That's not what INEC promised us. So I think that INEC should begin by, first of all, assuaging the feelings of Nigerians by saying, look, okay, we understand this is what happened, and then speedily and quickly do what is correct. What is correct? Just give us the result as the people voted, and like my friend said, you don't hold us responsible for anything that the citizens on the street decide to do. We're not responsible for anything. We're not asking them. As a matter of fact, we're asking everybody who is associated with Labour Party, please stay calm, because we know we will get decision. We won the election, and it will be given to us by the time INEC is done with whatever they are doing.
Because if you look at it, look at the result in Lagos. Yes, they say we won marginally, but you know that's even in spite of all the intimidation, voter suppression, violence that took place there. So, I mean, people saw all these things. And the fact that, well, in spite of all that, we still prevail should be sending some message to our viewers, you should understand why I'm saying viewers, supporters, that, okay, at the end of the day, we can still get something out of this system. Let's have the belief in our system. It's our country. We love our country, which is why we want to take it back. So let's be calm, see things where they are going, but let's be sure that in the end, the will of the people of Nigeria will prevail. We don't call for anything less than that. We have had cause to complain pre-election about the conduct and the attitude of INEC towards our party. Someone tweeted something critical about our presidential candidate. In the official handle of INEC. They liked it. There was a like on that tweet. Why should that happen? And then in Lagos, the issue of the Lagos wreck and his attitude towards our party. We complained about all these things pre-election. People didn't pay attention. But look at what is going on now. Look at what is going on now. The law says announce the result of the election in the location where that happened. In almost, in majority of the cases, that didn't happen. So what is the promise of the beavers? People had confidence in this year's election because of this beavers issue. We thought that beavers will solve our problem and there is not going to be manual location. But these things being announced now are manually collated. Why was it that 3 elections held the same day? House of Reps, Senate, and presidential. They were able to upload House of Reps and Senate. When it got to presidential, they couldn't find the code. Nationwide, beavers failed in respect of presidential election. Out of 3 elections conducted the same day. Come on. They should credit Nigerians with some intelligence.
Gentlemen of the press, my name is Ben Chuksmosu. I am the head of mobilization of the Presidential Campaign Council. My take is very lethal. 30 years ago, we were in this scenario when MKO Abiola won a clean, fair, world-acclaimed election. And there were shenanigans, there were statements being made in the end. He lost his life in the process of claiming his mandate. That must not happen this time. Nigerians will not accept it. All due processes were concluded on Saturday. That due process was that an election was fixed, the voters came out, and they voted. And the law says, call the result from the polling units. And some results were called. Question is, why is the presidential result not called? There must be something behind it. That thing behind it threatens the security of this country, and we don't want it. We are appealing to everybody to please, whoever has contacts, make those contacts. Nigerians are demanding the result of the election conducted on Saturday, won by Labour Party, through Peter Obi and Dati Ahmed. Full stop. Nothing less will be acceptable. I thank you.
All right. In the absence of any other question, I think this process has come to an end. Thank you very much for coming.
All right. Thank you so much.